24.9.
Wow, broke the 25 threshold.
Right. Last year, they were, last season, that would have been the youngest in the NFL. This is an incredibly young team. They'll have 38 guys between the ages of 20 and 24, 29 from 25 to 29. This is from Bobby Belt. 2 from 30 to 34, and then 1 from 35 to 39. That said, Sean Lee is the second oldest player in the league, on the team, behind LP Ladouceur. This is really, they're going to have one starter over the age of 30, if you really break it down. Like, this is a very young team. Very young team. And youth wins in this league. Something to keep an eye on. I'm a big proponent of youth. I'd rather have youth and talent over age and experience any day of the week in any sport, with the exception of maybe the NBA.
Well, I think the Cowboys do have that on the youth side. They also have that on the intelligence side, at least from a player standpoint. Mm-hmm. But the questions still remain about this coaching staff, and we have even more evidence from yesterday, Chop, that we kind of need to address. Sharp Football was the first one to kind of put a Sharp Football on Twitter, by the way, at Sharp Football, was the first one to kind of put his finger on this story from the Cowboys All or Nothing series. And if you've listened to any show, you've listened to our show, you've probably heard some audio clips, you've heard them recapping the episodes as we go through it, and eventually someone got to the episode containing the Giants game, where the Giants wound up scoring a touchdown. At least this is in the All or Nothing clip. The Giants score a touchdown, and then it appears in real time. Sean Lee goes over to the sidelines and essentially says to the coach at the time, Coach Baker,
Joe Baker,
that this play physically can't be run. Now, a lot of people are thinking, or at least I thought when I watched the clip, right, that the play he was referring to was the play in which the Giants scored a touchdown when they were on the goal line.
Yes, it was a...
But it's not. That was not the play he was referring to.
Because that's the one that's in the video.
Yes.
The one that's in the video is a touchdown pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the one that's in the video. The one that made it online eventually is another play in which the Giants are lined up at their own 44-yard line. They're in a spread formation, 3 wide with a tight end. And the Cowboys are in kind of like a base set, like a zone set. And in that play, the tight end runs up the field and sprints towards the corner. There's 2 wide receivers to the right of the tight end that are kind of closing towards the center of the field and then are going to turn around. Sean Lee, his responsibility, if the player to the right of Ingram streaks across the field, Sean Lee goes with him. Streaks across to the left.
Yeah, that's his guy.
If that player stays and Ingram goes to the corner, Sean has to go with Ingram to the corner. The problem is he can only make the read off of the second wide receiver. Long story short, it winds up being a conversation that they have in which Sean Lee has to tell the coaching staff, who called this play? Why are we running this play? It physically cannot work. And to me, Choppy, and I know that we don't necessarily know the nuances of the play call, and for their part, the Cowboys, credit to them, the coaching staff made an adjustment. They did not call that play again in the game. But is it frustrating to you, as it is to me, to know that there was a play within the game that was called by a coaching staff who didn't understand that the play in its concept physically couldn't be executed?
Is there a problem with the coaching staff in that?
That's a problem. Like, they should have. And it's not a question of, the Giants just came up with the right play to turn that scheme off, right?
Yeah, no, but you're gonna. I think the problem with this is that you're gonna have a hole somewhere on every play that you call, right? You're gonna be no matter what you're doing, you're gonna have a weakness left open somewhere.
Yeah, you're gonna have a weakness, but every guy on the team on the defensive side is going to have a clear-cut assignment, no matter how the play turns out. Now, you're right. Someone may wind up being, unguarded. If you rush 6,
yeah, there's always going to be somebody.
There's going to be a hole there. There's no question about that. But you're recognizing that when you draw up the play, you're drawing it up, understanding if they call, a corner route or a hot route, and I send a cornerback on a blitz and they call a hot route, they're going to kick me in the butt. So you understand that when you make the play call. What you don't want to see is a play that conceptually had no chance from the start, and it wasn't recognized until within the game. Like, do you think Bill Belichick would go through the scenario like that and say, oh, well, this play will never work in the game because of this, so we'll scrap it? Like, do you think, to me,
they got worked in that on the Philly play.
In the preparation room, no, you're right about that. But again, they didn't necessarily. This wasn't a play that the Giants. It wasn't all that unusual.
It wasn't a trick play. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't special.
It was 2 curls and a corner route.
Yeah, look, I don't know the nuance of this. It looks bad that it's out there. It makes the Cowboys coaching staff look bad. I do think that there is an issue if they're calling plays that are impossible to execute. I do understand, though, and I think everybody does, you are going to leave. There's a weakness. When you play a shift in baseball, if they decide they're going to, hit it down third base, it's impossible to guard. You can't field that play. You understand that you're leaving yourself open with a weakness. So I understand that aspect of it, but it's a terrible look. Like, this got Cowboy Twitter riled up. This did.
It riled me up.
It got, oh my God, look at our coaching staff. Our coaching staff can't figure this out. Sean Lee is having a coach on the field and off the field. He's having a coach in the film room. He's having to do this, having to do that. This just goes to show you how important it is, how important he is, and that's true. That's true. He is important. And it does kind of stink that he has to sit there and tell the coaches, hey, guys, this play can't work. But I do think that this is not a Cowboys problem. I do think that every single team has plays and has defensive schemes that they know leave them vulnerable to something.
Friday, I just have a power that comes over me, just ready to get the day out the way and get back home. All right, guys, I'm gonna try to make this video short and sweet. I'm gonna try to keep my words short and sweet because I might have to eat them. But anyway, TGIF, guys, thank y'all for tuning in this morning. Well, actually, you won't see this video until this evening, but I'm gonna say morning because that's what it is. Now, what you just heard was a little bit of audio from the local radio station here, 105.3, The Fan, Dallas Cowboys station. And they were talking about the age of the team, us being the youngest, one, or if not the youngest team in the NFL, and the good and the bad, and the dumb decisions of the coaching staff. And, we all know how that goes. Now, what I will say about the age issue is it's good to be a young team because it's good and it's bad. It has its ups and downs. It's the football's a young man's game, so you want young players, young healthy players, but you need those old dogs at key positions on the field that have experience, that know the game, that know how to win. That maybe you're lucky they may have a Super Bowl ring with another team, or, with you early in the years. But with the Dallas Cowboys, it ain't with us because we ain't been to the Super Bowl in damn near 24 years. So, but you still want to have that old dog. And Sean Lee is, one of the oldest guys that's there, and he's at a good position, which is linebacker. But he doesn't play offense. Now, we got lucky with Dak and Zeke because they were young. They were rookies. They came and they made a big impact. But the only thing I will say about that is because they came into a just that water team, already ready team, Romo ready team. This was Romo's team. We've built the running game. We've built the offensive line. We had Dez. We had, good receivers. Cole Beasley, Terrence Williams. Well, I don't even know why I said Terrence Williams. We still had the old man Jason Witten. We had the greatest offensive line in the game with Ronald Leary in there and Doug Free. All we had to do was plug Dak and Zeke in. Boom. Zeke was the leading rusher. Dak was the Rookie of the Year. That was a good season for us. We were supposed to win a Super Bowl probably that year. But with the inexperience of Dak and, other guys, we didn't get, past Green Bay. Y'all know the story on them. I'm not going to go over that. Like I say, having young guys is good, because you got them for a while, and you're able to build on them. But being too young to me, is back to the drawing board. And Dallas Cowboy fans and nation, we're getting impatient because it's been so long since we won a Super Bowl. We look at ourselves as a winning history, winning tradition, with the 70s and a little bit in the 80s, and then obviously dominating the 90s. Well, we sucked in the 80s, but we were okay. We're ready to get back to that because it's been long enough. So we're impatient. And having young guys, meaning and rookies coming in and them trying to, build a team off these guys, it's back to the drawing board. It just is. And it's something that we have to get ready for. We don't know what type of seasons it's going to be. It's going to be a physical, a tough season for us with the schedule and everything. Winnable games, but it's going to be a challenge because all of our old dogs are gone, So now to the coaching staff, there's no mystery on how elementary they are. There's no mystery behind it. It's when a player that's on the field, you have your coaches, you have your assistant coaches and all that, yada, 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 position coaches. And when a player sees that something isn't working and points it out to you, which is supposed to be a coach, a leader, somebody they're supposed to listen to, that's bad. That's not good. And then them not being able to adjust to what the player is talking about. Because see, the player is hands-on. They're out there, they're playing. Just like you at work. You're out there, whatever you do, you're working, you're on the field, you're working. And first off that if something goes wrong, you're able to point it out because you're hands-on. You're out there. You're using your legs and hands and everything to get the job done. And a lot of these coaches never played the game, physically played the game. They just were reluctant to become or lucky to become coaches, So they don't know, how it really feels out there on the field in battle. So Sean Lee to point that out, say, hey man, this isn't working. We gotta, who's sticking this guy? Who's guarding this guy? Where is this guy supposed to be? Who's supposed to be at this position on the field to help us? And, there are going to be holes in defense, especially the defense that we play. We play a prevent defense. And I've been saying this a million times over and over. It's a safe defense. It's designed to not give up the big play. And it's not physical at all. It's safe. It's almost like the defense that we run is almost like, okay, so everybody's back, so nobody should get beat deep. As a defensive coordinator, I'm too scared to run with my personnel. I'm too scared to run anything else. So let me just pick this defense just to be safe. And every now and then I'll blitz a corner, a nickel DB or dime or something like that. But until then, right now, we're going to do this. 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers. But anyway, it's very unfortunate that we have this type of coaching staff in here that has a hard time adjusting and is really senile to the new era of this game, of the offenses. And Bill Belichick, like they said, Bill Belichick would have spotted that quick and got on it. You have to be smart in the NFL if you want to win games, and we have a hard time doing that with our front office and coaching staff. Haven't had a real coach in here since Parcells, and Jimmy Johnson, which is sad. Like I keep saying, this is the last thing I'm going to say. I'm going to let y'all go. Like I keep saying over and over, I keep saying this on my videos. I've said this a million times on the roundtable discussions that we have on Saturday. The players, the talent that we're bringing in here and the talent that we already have are going to have to outplay the coaching staff. Just like 2016 when we had brought Dak and Zeke in here, we outplayed the coaching staff. They didn't even have to coach. The less they have to coach, the better we are as a team. They didn't have to do anything. We ran the show. We had the talent. We had the right puzzle pieces in the right places to win games. We back to back to back. We were unstoppable. 2014, especially 2016. And we're going to have to do that this season in order to win games because they don't know what the hell they're doing. And that's just the bottom line, guys. And that's just the bottom line. It's just, they don't know what they're doing. The only reason why it looked like they knew what they were doing in 2016, because why? The players played. We had the talent. We outplayed their thinking. That's it, man. That's all I got to say about that. But make sure y'all have a good Friday, man. I'm pretty sure you did. I mean, this video is just being posted. So make sure you stay cowboyed up because you never know what the day is going to bring you. I'm out.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?